Hi everyone! So my final video review for this week is for my paperback read, which is Alice by Sam Skyborne. If you want to check out the introduction video, that is still available on YouTube and my blog, but for any of you that haven't seen it, it's just a quick look at what the book looks like. I posted my Goodreads review the other day, so if you want to check that out, then there is a link below in the description if you're on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook or on my blog, then there's a link within the post. And this is the video review. So Alice by Sam Skyborne. Real on the edge thrill, really. I didn't know what to expect. It had such a cute title, Alice, and then it was a total thrill. So Alice is the main character. It's mostly about her, and she finds herself in South Africa with her husband whilst he's attending a work conference, and her life is absolutely miserable, and she really longs for freedom, which is why the tagline for the book is A Woman's Flight for Freedom. And when inspired to take a stand by Gloria, who's a very friendly member of the housekeeping staff at the hotel, Alice stands up to her husband and she decides not to return home with him. So she stays in South Africa, and life quickly gets difficult. She finds herself relying on the kindness of acquaintances that she's made, so Gloria basically. And Tony arrives in South Africa looking for Alice, because she's been hired to bring her home by her husband. And she also, the job's come at a great time for Tony, because she needs some time. She needs some time to process some personal circumstances. So this search for Alice provides her with that getaway from her own reality and a bit of time to think things through. So for me, this story was so clever, and it really did take me on an unexpected adventure. I don't know where I expected it to go, but I didn't expect it to go where it went. I spent so long feeling sorry for Alice, pretty much the entire book feeling sorry for Alice. Her story was just so sad, and even when she took her flight for freedom, she was never really going to be free, because she shouldn't be there. You know how it is when you travel abroad, you need visas to stay and stuff, and she was technically illegally there, and so life was never going to be easy for her. And the more the story unfolded, like, the more my heart ached for her. It really ached for her, poor thing. You know, she was in this foreign country, she was relying on Gloria, she was relying on kindness of strangers and coincidences, and oh, poor thing, you know, I can't think of anything worse. And she was getting really caught up in so much that was going beyond her control. Like, her whole life was not her. She wasn't really free, because her life, she wasn't in control of her own destiny at this point. And so I sympathised so much with her, and I adored how Sam had put together this story. It really, really tugged at my heartstrings. It really, really did. Like I say, I spent a long time feeling sorry for Alice, and a long time crying about it as well. There were so many moments when my heart was like literally in my throat, and I was like, I just wondered if any of this was even possible. Do you know what I mean? Like, I realised it was, you know, really was probably just the type of scenario someone like Alice would find themselves in. The innocence of being entangled in something like this. It just made me feel so sad, because, you know, reality, as much as you don't want to think about it being a possibility, I suppose it probably is. People who try to escape, they're so desperate, and they are so reliant on other people, and they literally get drawn into things that they shouldn't be, they never should have been a part of, if you know what I mean. And still, you know, this adventure just blew me away. I got really sucked into it at one point, and I was so emotionally invested that when I finally finished reading it, I was literally in shock. And the plot is one that just twists and turns and will completely surprise you. Talk about a thriller. You wouldn't see any of this coming whatsoever. You'll never guess how it's going to end, and I'm not going to tell you, because that would be a spoiler. You would literally never guess how it was going to end. Even I couldn't guess how it was going to end. I figured it was going to be pretty sad, and I was like, this can't go well. And I can't believe it ended how it ended. Like, oh my god. The plot, like I say, it's just one that, you know, you'll be sure you know where it's going, and Sam's just gonna derail you at every moment, and I loved that. I really did love that, because it meant that all my guesses were wrong, and therefore I enjoyed it so much more because I couldn't predict it. And it was extremely clever, deeply intense, and really emotionally moving, like the whole story. And although it's part of a series, this is a standalone novel, and I'm really now excited to read more from Sam Skyborne. This really was gripping, and I was literally hooked from that very first chapter. As soon as I met Alice as a character, I was emotionally invested, emotionally connected, and really quite excited to see how her story was going to play out. And the more it played out, the more emotionally invested I became. But you'll become very emotionally connected to Alice, especially if you're empathetic, and she's just such a character, and to sympathise with her is very easy as well. If she doesn't get under your skin, if Alice doesn't get under your skin as a character, something is wrong, because she should. And she's one of those amazing characters. Every decision she makes, and she will completely surprise you. She is not what you expect her to be at all. But this was thoroughly enjoyable, and it was quite a rush to read, like really exciting. I highly recommend it, and I'll definitely read it again and again, because I think each time there'll be a different clue, and then because I now know the outcome, I think to read a book again, I'll get a different view of it. I will see things differently even when I am reading the chapters, because I know what's going to come. So I can't wait to read it again and find out. And it might just throw up something reading it again that makes me view the story differently from how I did the first time, and I'll have a different experience reading it. So that is really clever, really exciting book that makes you want to read it again and feel something different. So it was a really thrill to read. I loved it. I really, really loved it. So I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab a copy of Alice by Sam Skyborne, which I hope you will. If you've read Alice by Sam Skyborne, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I really, really would. So get involved below. Tell me what you liked about the book. Tell me what you thought about it. It's one of those books that you can't help but talk about, so I really want to talk about it. And if you haven't read it yet, but you're planning to read it, it's on your to be read list, or you're interested in reading it, again, comment below, because it's always great to hear what you're reading. And if you do read it, I really hope you enjoy it, because it's so clever, and I think you're going to be totally blown away. So I really hope you enjoy it. And yeah, let me know if you do read it, and just enjoy. Bye!